Where would you like to move to? Um, and what kind of new foreign foods would you like to eat or try out? And which bank do you want to open a new account in? Right. So you might have answers for all these three questions, but and I'll try to explain why you had those answers. And you can just watch till the end of this video, in which I'm trying to answer that, get the exact thing. Right. So going back to 1980s, you have to just go back to 1980s to find out the answer for why you said some country's name or some food's name or some bank's name. Right. And there was this guy called Joseph Nye. I think it's pronounced as Nye. Um, he introduced this concept called soft power, right? And according to Joseph, power in general is the ability to influence the behavior of others to get the outcome that you want, right? And there were two kind of powers, right? One is hard power. Hard power is something that you uh, use by the force of military or by paying someone and asking them to do something, right? It's like forcing me to do a certain activity or by paying me to do a certain activity. That's called hard power, right? A lot of countries used to do that before World War II, World War One, etc. Right? And he said that there is this another realm of power called soft power, which was very interesting. And I'll try to explain it better. Right. Um, let's take the example of, I think, the best soft power that is there. It is the US, United States of America, right? The US for the most of the time had the biggest soft power, um, ever since, going to war or flexing military power became harder and harder after UN came to power, and after the World War II, right? Then countries had to figure out a way to say that, hey, we are the biggest thing out here. Like in US, um, Hollywood has been the best example of soft power, I would say. Right, the entire world started watching Hollywood movies, and literally the entire world got westernized. Westernized means basically it became. It tried to. A lot of people try to act or try to become what US is, right? What Hollywood movies portray. How. US people or Americans wear clothes, how do they speak, etc. Right, and you can see that a lot of people adopted the way how Americans wear clothes, right? T-shirts and shorts, and the languages that they speak, the slang in which they speak, and the culture of America. Like everything was so fashionized, and still people, I think, all over the world uh, try to adopt American fashion, and Hollywood is one of the biggest reason for it. And America also become a land of the dreams, right? Everybody wanted to go to America because they were seeing these beautiful movies that were coming out from America, and America also had a thing to back it up. Like they had really good economy, they had really good cars, industries, etc. Right? And coming to a recent example of soft power, and I'd also guess that at least some of you might have answered the two questions that I've uh, the two questions out of the three questions that I've asked right in the beginning of the video. That is like, where do you want to move to, or where do you want to travel to? Which country do you want to travel to? And which kind of food do you want to to try out? Right? You might have, at least someone of you might have answered it as South Korea, right? For both of them, right? I believe South Korea is becoming the next US when it comes to soft power, because K-pop is killing it, right? Everybody is watching K-pop except me. I know I can feel it because uh, my Instagram feed is full of like people sharing how good um, South Korea is, how good the culture is, how good the food looks like. And I've even seen people sharing stuff like, Indian men or boys also need to learn from South Korean boys how to, you know, treat women or girlfriends, things like that, right? So there is a huge influence coming out from South Korea right now in India, in US, in Australia, in the Middle East, everywhere, right? And I can see that brands like Coca-Cola and Hyundai has also came up with the partnerships and ad campaigns featuring these K-pop stars, which is also another way K-pop is, contributing to the South Korean economy as a whole. I read that 10% of the GDP, or the total income that South Korea is generating right now, is from content. That means it's from K-pop. 10 years or 15 years ago, there was nothing like 10%. It was, I think, below 1%. So that's how much this software is, power is actually empowering South Korea, right? And an example when it comes to a brand is Apple. Apple really has a really good soft power. If you compare Apple's technology and OnePlus technology, you wouldn't find anything superior in Apple, and you will even find a lot more superior technologies in a OnePlus phone. But since Apple has a really good soft power, their users are forgiving, or won't count OnePlus as an opponent or even as an option, because they really love the brand, how it is placed, with the ads, the communication, the feel that they get when they're using it, right? But they also have to back it up if Apple starts to make really terrible phones, like in a consecutive year's time. People will start people will not forgive that long. People will start moving away, right? So it's not just about the communication of the field, but it's also about the product. America also had that backup, right? It was a great nation, and it had all the things that that he portrayed. It really had, right? And another really good example of a brand which is trying to use software to the fullest is a brand called Gaspro, which is a Russian oil and gas brand, uh, which majorly trades oil and gas to the European countries. So, major of their target audience or clients are the government officials of European countries, major decision makers who sign deals with uh, Gazprom, right? So what Gazprom is doing is that they're putting out a lot of sponsorship money into sponsoring European football clubs. And as a layman, you would think that, hey, why is a B2G, or business to government organization, spending a lot of money to advertise in football matches, or in football uh, club's t-shirt, right? Nobody is going to directly buy oil from these guys, but they're also trying to get the ground support from these European nations, since football is the biggest sports there, right? So they'll get a really good soft power in this region that will allow, that will, what you say, inspire the government officials to give contracts to put pipelines through their country, and to sign buy gas and oil from them, right? And Dubai tourism is also recently signed Shah Rukh Khan, and doing a lot of stuff, building a really good palm islands and buildings, and they're also becoming that center of soft power in which everybody wants to move to Dubai, or everybody wants to visit Dubai, right? In my opinion, Tesla is also having that power. Like, people from India are tweeting to Elon Musk saying that, hey, when are you launching Tesla in India? Where will be the first showroom appear, etc., right? So even if you have a decent product, I say that you need to start building the soft power, right? You need to focus on the communication, and make other and you need to have a name of influencing others, right? You need to have a name of getting people, attracting people to your company. They want to join you and work with you and buy your product. Your company and your product should be an aspiration. So that's it. Software is what I was talking about. Hope you liked it. If you liked it, leave a comment, subscribe, etc. Thank you, guys.